Hello, I'm Lori Alvarez, and I welcome you to Real Estate with Soul, the podcast. This is where I will share my story, knowledge, wisdom, and the legacy in real estate, and my family, all boldly wrapped up in one with you. So let's get started. Nolan, hit your board. You're supposed to be on your board making your noises, right? Irma's getting us set up, so we're going to start recording shortly.
That's cute.
We are rolling. Okay, she's getting us. Oh, we're already 12 seconds in. Oh my gosh. It's been that kind of day too. Irma's gonna have to take that out of there, right? Hello, I'm Lori Alvarez, and I welcome you to Real Estate with Soul, the podcast. This is where I will share my story, knowledge, wisdom, and the legacy in real estate, and my family, all boldly wrapped up in one with you. So let's get started. There it is. We're getting started. So with that said, Irma will edit that because that won't show up on the phone, right? No, it won't show up on the phone. Hey, IG, it's Lori Alvarez and
Amy Cruz.
We are live recording the podcast today, which will come down on
next week,
Thursday. Thursday. Episode 51. We just went over the hill.
Yay.
We went over the hill. In podcast world, we went over the hill. That's so awesome.
Super cool.
You missed last week's interview. Did you get to listen to it yet?
I have not listened to it yet.
You think she would be prepared before she shows up to be caught up on the podcast?
I've been busy selling real estate for us.
I know.
I've been helping families.
We have been.
Okay, can IG hear that?
Yeah, no, can't. IG can't, but Irma's going to keep it. So with that said, well, last week's interview was fantastic. We talked with Michael Dominguez, and his book is awesome. So I want you to get it. Charge it to me, of course.
That's not a problem.
Yeah, no problem. Armchair Real Estate costs fantastic book. It'll get you started. Money, exactly, dollars and cents. It'll get you started in thinking about moving forward and investing in real estate. Because your big sis told you like 8 years ago to do it, and you still haven't done it.
You know, I always, whenever we talk about it, I think about that condo from like 8 years ago in Covina, and kick myself in the booty every time.
There it is. Ouch, I felt that. It hurts.
I know.
It hurts. That's just the truth, right? I did have someone, just to go back to that really quick. I did have someone this weekend. We were out of town. If you're following me on IG, we were in Vegas all weekend. We had such a blast. Back to work on Monday afternoon. And the reality is I still work while in Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
And I had my nail lady, she was doing my nails. I had her ask me like, hey, should I be investing in real estate? And I was like, if you're financing, why not?
Yeah.
It's not your money. It's a tenant paying your loan off.
Right.
So, it's just your credit.
Yeah.
So what the heck?
Yeah.
Buy some real estate.
Right.
Interest rates are phenomenal. Yes, prices are high. Interest rates balance that out with being amazing, especially for investors.
Yeah.
So we're looking to put together a potential, like webinar with Michael Dominguez, because he's just got great information and is ready to help our clients move forward to becoming those millionaires in real estate.
Yeah.
Which we for sure are excited to do.
Definitely.
I already have multiple properties, so I'm doing great. But it's always great to get another Canadian agent's perspective. And just so you know, the Canadian market is super stable out there because they require higher down payments. So they show a lot of stability in that area.
That's cool.
So let's get into what we're really talking about today. Kids are back to school. Yes, kids are charging back to school, right? They are 110%. Like Rancho Cucamonga is definitely moving forward back to school. The Inland Empire is moving back to school. I know LA County is moving back to school as well. So Sister, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about that because I know you and I carry a little different perspective on the COVID, Delta, like all of that.
Yeah.
You're much more concerned than I personally am.
Yeah.
Totally respect that. And that's what I love is that we have two completely, extremely different perspectives. She's like,
Right.
cover me from head to toe and be super
I
safe.
want a plastic thing right here
Yes.
between us just because you were just in Vegas, but whatever.
Yes.
You're my sister. I love you.
Yes, yes. That's just the truth, right? And just so you know, Vegas requires masks, right? It
Yeah.
required masks.
Yeah. Yeah.
So with that said, with you having a young toddler who's getting ready, they're not going to
Right.
school this year, but I'm sure you're already thinking about this and thinking about like, oh, what's going to happen? And you're thinking about doing, what is it called? Preschool.
Right.
You're
Pre-K.
thinking,
Yeah.
it's been a long time since I've
I
been
know.
there.
I know.
So you're thinking about preschool. Let me hear your perspective first on how you're feeling about all of this.
Yeah. So, as you know, I have a couple of good friends who are teachers, and I've been talking to them a lot about it. With Connor, possibly he should be in pre-K this year, and it makes me super nervous with COVID. Like he's so little; they don't know to not. I can't touch my eye because I just touched this desk or pencil or whatever a germs could be sitting on, like they don't know any better.
Yeah.
And it just makes me super nervous how easily germs can spread within a classroom of little kids that tiny, that young. And it's just it I really debate and go back and forth about it because I feel like, well, he needs the interaction with other kids and he needs to play with them and learn to socialize, and all that stuff is so important. And also at the same time, his health comes first for me.
Yes.
So
yeah.
it's really a big delay because I don't want to hold him back in any way,
Right.
and I want him to, live his little life and get out there and meet kids and play and have a blast and learn. And at the same time, it just really tears me because I don't want to put his health at risk.
Yeah.
And when I'm hearing on the news and from nurses and doctors and all of that the new variant is so it spreads twice as easily, and the numbers are going up for kids.
Yeah.
So that just it makes me super nervous, and I of course talked to my husband about it, and him and I have finally decided we're just gonna not do pre-K this year for Connor. Just keep his social play dates or things like that. Keep them really small.
Yeah.
Only certain people for now. And it was a really hard decision to make. It was
Right.
really, really hard. And I just it makes me sad. It does. I don't want to ever hold him back in any way.
Yeah.
So, and as a parent, as a mom, you don't like you always question yourself if you're doing the right thing or not.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's fair. Like that's a very fair assessment. I was reading in the LA Times, their recent article today, and they were talking about the COVID vaccine being available, this Delta variant being available for the young children, right? And that there aren't great options at this time.
Right.
Now, again, we're not healthcare providers. We're realtors,
right,
having a conversation about what's so important when buying and selling and living in a community. Your school district matters. And this really, this is very impactful now when you're thinking about the school I just bought in, the school district I just bought in.
Yeah.
So we want to relate this back to real estate because you're making these decisions as a family community when you have children. You're making these decisions on, oh, this is the school I've chose. These are the schools that they will attend, unless you choose to go to private school, right?
Yeah.
And those options change. And what I was reading in the LA Times today as well is it did communicate they're going to, the smaller children, the desks are still going to be very close. They're not going to social distance the desks per se, right? Mm-hmm. Because they're saying that you can wear the mask. You can wear the mask. Now, I'm gonna be really honest about this mask business. I hate it.
I know you do.
I'm 110% rebellious to it. And I respect the perspective on it and those that feel safer because of it.
Yeah.
I went to Ben and Teller's show on Sunday night in Vegas, and we had to wear a mask for an hour and a half to watch
That's a long
that
time.
magic show,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And I am, full disclaimer, you can probably hear it on the podcast, right? Like, I am a nose breather.
Yeah.
And I got to tell you, it killed me to have that mask on for an hour and a half. And that's probably one of the reasons why I'm so rebellious to the mask.
Yeah.
Is because I feel so hindered to breathe. And so I really have to concentrate on my breathing and being aware of that. So, with that said, kids wearing masks from 6 to 8 hours during the day throughout a school day.
Yeah.
I don't know. That can be super, super challenging for young kids.
Right.
So let me reach out to Nolan, who's our college aged Nolan. Nolan, how would you feel if you attended Speak Nice and Loud so that they pick you up on the mic? How would you feel, or come around to Auntie Amy's mic? How would you feel about sitting in a college course for 2 hours with a mask on your face?
I'd probably hate it a lot.
Why is that?
I don't like having things on my face. They restrain me a lot, and it's not my thing.
Yeah. That's one college student's perspective, right? Because he just enrolled in his first college course.
Yay.
And yeah, we're so excited. And as he's 18, he's figuring out his future and the things he wants to do.
Yeah.
He just wants to be back in school. He wants to be able to go to college and have a traditional college class experience, right?
Yeah.
And he's not feeling like that is possible. I mean, I'm on the foundations committee for Mount SAC, and I know when we meet on Wednesday for a foundation training retreat, I'm going to be on Zoom all day long. That, I'm just going to say, is super challenging for people who are students, 16-year-olds, 15-year-olds, 10-year-olds, 4-year-olds, 5-year-olds. That's super challenging.
Yeah, it is.
To see them on a computer all day long. I read in the LA Times, which I really appreciated, which was, one mother said, the fact that they did online education was very mentally, emotionally, and physically challenging for them, and just didn't rise up to the standard that was needed for some students.
Yeah.
For some students.
Yeah.
Some excelled and others didn't, which would be, I'm sorry to say, the same in school, right?
Yeah.
Some will excel and some won't.
Right.
That's just the reality of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You just have to work within the means of what you've been provided.
Right.
So I'm bummed to hear that Connor's not going to go to pre-K.
I know. And I really go back and forth about it constantly. Like, I'm really thinking about it a lot, especially when you go on Facebook and Instagram and everybody's posting, so-and-so's first day of school. And you know how I feel about COVID, and it just makes me really uncomfortable.
Well, and for all of you in IG world who don't know, Connor is very much like his mommy. He is super sociable.
Yeah.
He is super like, oh, I want to be with you. So, he would love the pre-K experience. Absolutely love it.
I know he would.
I know also that you will be very intentional about making sure he's participating in a safe manner that makes you and David feel comfortable.
Yeah. And I mean, we are doing other things for him for his education, like shout out to abcmouth.com. That's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
He loves that and totally excels in that. And, hopefully
you're reading to him regularly.
And we do so much. So as far as education, really, like, I'm not trying to compare myself to a teacher at all. Like,
Right.
hands down to all the teachers. They're
Yes,
amazing.
they are. We love our teachers.
We do. And, I just, that's just kind of how I feel about it. And I think he'll be okay. And I'm sure there's lots of other moms out there that are debating with that age group, just like
Yes.
I am.
Yeah. Yeah. It's challenging. Oh, we're going to say goodbye to IG and our IG world. You need to pick up this conversation on the download of this podcast. This is episode 51. And we're talking about going back to school with COVID in 2021. I know. It feels like, gosh, every time I say COVID, I think 2020.
Yeah.
Anyways, download it. And those that are on the podcast, find us on IG. We are Real Estate with Soul, the podcast on IG, and Boldly Lori Alvarez, Amy Cruz Fit Realtor, and of course, Lori Alvarez and team on the IG. We're there. We appreciate you. Now back to the podcast. So let's continue this conversation, Aim, because I find that like very interesting as parents are being forced to make this decision, right? As school is getting started, right? They're being forced to have these last minute decisions. One of the school districts I was reading said, oh, okay, well, if you want more information, you join us on a Zoom board meeting, which was limited to 1,000 people. So not all those parents got to join in on that Zoom. And so how does a parent make an informed decision when they just go from the news and then they go from like emails and texts and telephone calls and messages and letters from the district without having the opportunity to really hear everything? I mean, I'm excited for our kids to get back to school. I personally, having a 15-year-old who turned 16 here in a couple of weeks, having him back in school full time, super excited. But he also is in great health. He doesn't have any that we're aware of. He doesn't have any health challenges that could put him at risk. And then there's the young men and women out there and other children out there that do have those health risks to be aware of. So challenging.
I know.
I just couldn't imagine being a young student sitting at a desk for 6 to 8 hours. Of course they have recess and they get to go outside, and as long as the mandates allow, they'll get to take their masks off outside, hopefully. Well, not recess when they're in high school. My kids are always like, Mom, it's not recess, it's break time. It's lunchtime. It's recess. But again, that comes back to choosing a great house in a great district that you're supporting. And here's the deal. LA County is more mandated than the Inland Empire.
Right.
A lot more mandates. LA County is showing stronger mandates. They're requiring masks. They're requiring many more things. I mean, literally, we just had a buyer's consultation with one of our set of buyers, right, that said they do not want to buy in LA County. I couldn't believe it. That's the first time I heard that. They were like, we're done with all the mandates in LA County.
Right.
I wonder how many other buyers and sellers, for that matter, are like, I'm out of LA County. I ain't doing this anymore. LA County is crazy. And then but to take all seriousness in there, right? LA County, there's a lot of people who are in LA County that are very concerned.
And who appreciate all of it.
100%. They really do.
Yeah.
Really, really do. So as a young mother, putting your kid, choosing schools, what questions would you have since you've never experienced it?
Right.
And you're talking to someone who's done it for 23 years
I was
straight.
going to say longer than that.
Go ahead. What questions do you have?
It's all brand new for me. And, I'm like, I didn't even know, like, preschool, you have to pay for preschool. That's not free.
Yes.
Not that was a deciding factor in why we're not doing pre-K. It was, I promise, only because of the COVID. But Like, I was like, what? It's not like part of the city? Like, okay.
I love the real and rawness of that.
I mean, I've never, it's my first kid. So I've never looked that up before, ever looked into that. So I had no clue. I'm like,
so
man, $300 a month for preschool, which is actually, I think, not that bad.
Right.
I mean, but still, I still kind of was like, oh, I thought it was part of the school district.
I love that you bring that up.
Just being real.
I love that you bring that up because so many young moms maybe are not aware of that, right? They have a baby.
I hope I'm not the only one.
No, you're not. Believe me, you're not. They have a baby, they buy a house in a great neighborhood, they check out the school districts, and then you realize like pre-K and kindergarten. So I remember the shift at Bonita Unified School District when they invited the pre-kindergartners into the kindergarten classes.
Oh, cute.
Yeah. So that happened when Nicholas, my second son, came and started school, right?
Aww.
They had the option to, which was 18 months after Nathan started school. So they had an option to have pre-kindergartners in the classroom. And so they would come half day, and they actually did. There was no charge for that, just so you know. So Bonita Unified, I don't know if it's still the same. Obviously, you're doing the research there.
I was told, I didn't look it up myself, but our sister-in-law, she said that Bonita Extrand, I guess, offers a pre-K program that is free, but only with both working parents. So you have to like show some sort of paperwork document like, hey, I'm a full-time employee and my husband. And then they offer, I don't know if it's like a full-time or half day, or I didn't look it up too much because I'm like, how am I going to show that I'm a full-time employee as a real estate agent? Like, what do I do?
Right.
Show you my escrows or
that's
a
good
point. But then I honestly didn't look too much into it because of the whole COVID thing for me.
Yeah, that was a shift because that was new to us because we had the young little ones in the classroom and they would take a nap because back in the day I used to volunteer in the classroom when the boys were in kindergarten.
Yeah.
And so they would have the kids there and they would take their naps and have their little quiet time. We still have Nathan and Nicholas's towels from when they would have their nap time.
How cute.
Yeah, it was fun, right? That was fun. That is 15 years ago too. Can you believe that? We still have their towels, little blankets. They would take towels in. So that's a great question. What else do you have?
I guess for the hours, how are they controlling, for COVID? Like how are they cleaning and sanitizing things? Are they distancing the kids? Are they helping them with that?
Yeah.
What if my kid's not potty trained, even though Connor's doing really well with that? But I'm sure other moms, might have that question. That's kind of it for me.
There was a lot in that. So I'm going to share this. This is a Lori story from when she was a little girl in school.
Oh.
I remember I was in, let's see, 5th grade. Yeah, I think it was 5th grade. Miss Jordan's class. No, Miss Jordan was, this was 1st grade. Okay. Miss Jordan was 1st grade. I was private school. And I peed my pants at the desk. Can you believe it? What the fuck? I did. I remember that in 1st grade. Now I'm 56. No, I'm not that. I'm 46.
No, you're.
And I'm 46.
Yes.
And I still have to hustle to the bathroom. I wonder.
Sounds about right. Yeah.
And I think it gets worse as you get older as a woman. That's what I hear.
After you have babies, you better run.
So charge. So with that said, the potty training, I do remember the teachers are very good at helping the kids with that and checking in on do you have to go to the bathroom? Do you have to do this? And regularly paying attention to that.
Yeah.
So it's a great question. Let's see, what else did you ask in there? Oh, COVID
What
vaccinations and then the ability to keep them safe. I think the school district, and I'm going to give great kudos to the school district, because I do believe they've had an entire year and a half to really prep for opening day of school.
Yeah.
And even though we have a new challenge, which is this Delta variant, right? We are prepared to take the appropriate measures. So I'm going to say, yes, our schools are ready. Our schools have the ability to do what is necessary. I believe that all our teachers are getting trained on that. Our teachers will know how to help our young ones in making right decisions. And I will tell you, because I remember when the boys were little and we weren't so concerned about, oh my gosh, germs and this and that.
Yeah, right.
I still remember my kindergarten teachers. They were awesome. Mrs. Beekman, all these different teachers that our boys had.
Yeah.
They were really, Mrs. Aguilara, Mrs. Leahy, they were really good about, oh, you touch something, let's clean our hands.
That's awesome.
So I would just encourage you, as a mother who's been through 20 years or so of schooling with 4 sons, and I still have 2 more years to go, and we're gonna make it if it kills me. Please, Nevin. This is a big shout out to my baby Nevin, my junior this year. You just finished Make Mommy Proud, Make Daddy Proud. Let's bring in that last San Dimas High School graduate.
Yeah.
That we give a big shout out, because the school districts are doing everything they can to keep our children safe.
Yeah.
So feel confident in that and stay engaged. Have the conversations with them. Be aware and do your part, right?
Right.
And again, think about the school districts that you're buying in.
Right.
So many times we have buyers say, we don't care about the school district. We don't have kids.
Resale value.
Resale value.
You're going to care then.
Not
Promise.
only that, at some point, you might just inherit someone's kid unexpectedly.
That's true.
It can happen.
You're getting our boys if something were to ever happen to us. Then you start school all over again, sister.
Yeah, no.
Knock on wood. God, I mean,
no more. No more schooling for us. We just want to get them graduated and then off to college. Do your thing, whatever. Figure it out. You're an adult now. So again, coming back to the real estate aspect of this and just pulling this back together. One, we are back to school. Kids are going back to school.
Yeah.
Parents are having the option to opt into virtual school or not. And protocols are changing just because of the fact that this medical situation does go up and down. And hey, the government would love to be able to be more proactive and do it quicker or faster or slower or give you more notice, but they're doing it with the information as quickly as it comes in.
Right.
I believe that because I like to believe that our government is for us, not against us. And I believe our teachers are rock and rolling. The school districts and the staff members are doing their absolute best to protect our students and bring them back to school in a healthy manner. And I'm going to believe that. And I also believe that the parents should reserve the right to keep their children healthy. And I am going to say, to the masks. I don't like it. I'm 100% against it. And again, I'm going to go back to your choice, your mask, right?
Yeah.
And someone else keeping them healthy and safe in the decisions that they make. School districts matter. School districts matter when you're buying and selling and living in a home. Even when you're renting, school districts matter.
Yeah.
That is all you have to think about when you're making that decision. All right, that's Lori Alvarez, and this is Amy. This is going to be downloaded on Thursday. This is our perspective of COVID, the Delta variant, and getting back to school, and a few tips for you on, as a new parent, my kid's starting and entering school. What do I do? Thanks again. Irma, we give it back to you.